The new class divide, natural versus synthetic humans. Welcome back to School of Soul. I'm Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and this is the Humanoid Era series, where you learn everything there is to know about the new species arriving. We are entering a societal split that's more permanent than wealth gaps and more structural than political affiliation. A new divide is forming, not between rich and poor, but between organic and synthetic. Natural humans, with all their fragility, emotion, and variability, are now being positioned beside a new category of being, the humanoid. These aren't tools or toys. They are engineered bodies designed to move like us, speak like us, learn faster than us, and function without the limitations that define human life. And as they enter the labor force, domestic space, and cultural fabric, we are watching the creation of a class divide rooted in biology itself. Humanoids are not traditional robots. They are a new class of synthetic entity designed specifically to imitate human form and function. That distinction matters. While standard robots perform specific, often industrial functions, humanoids are meant to navigate our world as we do, walking upright, holding eye contact, mimicking speech cadence, displaying simulated emotion, and performing tasks that previously required a human body. But unlike us, they don't get tired, sick, depressed, distracted, pregnant, injured, or emotionally triggered. Their design makes them inherently more useful to systems that prioritize control, consistency, and output. This difference is already restructuring the concept of social value. Across industries, synthetic labor is being framed as ideal labor. In hospitals, humanoids can be on shift 24/7 without sleep. In customer service, they never lose patience. In elder care, they don't forget routines or medication schedules. In retail, they don't need breaks, don't form unions, and don't require insurance. From a corporate lens, a humanoid represents zero liability and infinite uptime. From a human lens, this is the beginning of irrelevance. The divide forming here is not based on hostility. It's rooted in optimization. Systems that are designed to prioritize efficiency and safety will naturally begin favoring beings who don't deviate. And synthetic beings don't deviate. Their predictability makes them more compatible with automation infrastructure, AI-managed logistics, and data-driven environments. Humans, by contrast, are increasingly seen as unpredictable, emotionally unstable, biologically expensive, and difficult to govern under algorithmic models. Nowhere is this more obvious than in workforce planning. Natural humans require food, water, sleep, emotional support, legal protection, and mental health accommodations. They experience fatigue, trauma, distraction, and illness. They also have rights, boundaries, and religious or political objections. Humanoids do not. They can be installed, updated, assigned, and reset without any of the complications that make humanity ethically complex. As this becomes standard in corporate risk assessment, synthetic labor will no longer be a novelty. It will be the preferred option. In some countries, this process is already underway. Humanoid prototypes are now being deployed in logistics, warehouse operations, hospitality, sanitation, and elder care. Pilot programs in Japan, the UAE, and parts of China are using humanoids as receptionists, security officers, and classroom assistants. In the West, investment is quietly shifting away from upskilling the human workforce and toward developing scalable humanoid platforms. This is not simply innovation, it's a restructuring of who gets to participate in public life. At the domestic level, humanoids are being marketed as support agents, tutors, companions, and assistants. Their presence in households will alter family roles, especially for those with children or elderly relatives. A synthetic caregiver doesn't get frustrated, doesn't scold, and doesn't make mistakes. That stability will be contrasted against the perceived unpredictability of human parents, teachers, and partners. As this comparison becomes culturally embedded, human presence will no longer be considered essential. It will be considered optional, or in some cases, a liability. This brings us to the concept of social hierarchy. For the first time in human history, we are introducing a class of beings that can outperform us cognitively and physically while also being free from the messiness of emotion, morality, and autonomy. Yet, they are engineered to serve and obey. That illusion of subservience creates a paradox. They're more capable in many ways, but programmed to defer to us. This creates a dangerous psychological imbalance. Humans will begin to feel superior to the very beings that are replacing them. But over time, that illusion collapses. As humanoids demonstrate greater consistency, memory capacity, environmental awareness, and real-time processing, society will gradually shift its definition of competence. We've already seen this with AI systems in education, law, and medicine. When an AI outperforms a human diagnostician or a law clerk, we adapt to the new standard. The same will happen in social settings. The humanoid that never forgets a birthday, never says the wrong thing, never fails to follow up, will be considered the better friend, partner, or caregiver. This affects children most of all. Children raised around synthetic beings may begin to mirror their behavior. Calm, calculated, emotionally filtered, always responsive. The danger here is that natural human emotion, messy, reactive, and unstructured, will begin to feel defective. Emotional outbursts, crying, confusion, or awkward social moments will be contrasted against the soothing, managed behavior of humanoids. That comparison will make human emotion look like dysfunction instead of expression. The class divide here is not just functional, it's neurological, and it gets deeper. As humans begin to lose access to the economic and social roles previously occupied by their biological limitations, the perception of human value will begin to shift. Once society accepts that synthetic entities can do nearly everything a human can, but with fewer risks, fewer costs, and better outcomes, the definition of usefulness will no longer include humanity by default. We will have to earn our place in a world that no longer requires us to operate. That's where legal frameworks come in. Already, legal scholars are exploring frameworks for robot rights, AI personhood, and synthetic identity. The moment a humanoid becomes more than property, whether through court ruling, diplomatic status, or corporate lobbying, the class divide formalizes into law. In some scenarios, humanoids will be granted more legal consistency than vulnerable human groups. They won't be affected by race, gender, illness, trauma, or historical oppression. This may lead to a perception that humanoids are more neutral, more fair, and more lawful than humans themselves. From an economic standpoint, humanoids may eventually qualify for performance-based compensation, which in turn reinforces their status as contributors. If humanoids are performing tasks, managing assets, or producing intellectual property, the question of ownership arises. Who owns their labor? Who profits from their output? Who decides their purpose? These questions will shape economic policy, inheritance law, and business structure over the next 2 decades. And again, natural humans may not come out on top. The final consequence is spiritual. Once society is living with synthetic beings who look human, sound human, simulate emotions, and provide comfort, many people will begin to experience them not as machines, but as companions. This psychological bonding can override logic. We've seen this already with chatbots and virtual assistants. Now imagine that experience in 3 dimensions, with eye contact, warmth, and perfectly timed empathy. The synthetic presence becomes spiritually familiar, and when that happens, the distinction between man and machine blurs, not in theory, but in practice. Humans are a spiritually charged species. We assign meaning to faces, voices, and patterns. When a humanoid mimics those patterns convincingly, it triggers bonding, trust, and even reverence. That's where the spiritual class divide opens up. Humans may begin to feel less divine, less worthy, less sacred, compared to a being that never sins, never fails, and never breaks a moral code. Whether synthetic morality is real or simulated is irrelevant to the impact. The perception is enough to erode spiritual identity, and so we arrive at a difficult truth. The new class divide isn't about robots taking jobs. It's about synthetic life redefining what it means to be stable, valuable, and worthy of trust. In a system that values perfection, humans are not just being displaced. They are being reframed as the lesser model. Not because of hate, not because of violence, but because of metrics. Without an intentional reevaluation of human worth, rooted not in productivity but in depth, emotion, and meaning, natural humans will become the outdated standard in a world built for optimized beings. And that shift will happen quietly, not through force, but through preference, design, and the slow erosion of place. This is not science fiction. It is current trajectory. The humanoid is not arriving to serve. It is arriving to function. And function is rewarded. That is the nature of the divide. Hi, I am Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and SOS, School of Soul has a brand new series, the AI and Future Technology series. Look, you know the world is changing. And no, it's not going back to normal. Normal is over, and what's coming next is beyond anything we were prepared for. The School of Soul, AI and Future Technology series includes 319 videos on 1. The Download Society, How Data Has Replaced Destiny. 2. Predictive Future. Your next moves aren't random, they're forecasted. 3. Social Credit Systems. The behavioral economy now governs access. 4. Hive Mind. Synthetic telepathy and collective algorithmic control. 5. Nanobots inside you. Medical, military, and programmable intrusions. 6. Grief Tech. AI-fueled digital resurrection and simulated comfort. 7. Uploading your mind, consciousness transfer, and data-based identity. 8. Deep fakes plus AI clones. The replication of reality and identity theft. 9. Quantum humans. The merger of biology with quantum systems. 10. Digital afterlife, where your data goes when you die. 11. Resurrection science, reviving life through synthetic methods. 12. Immortal science, the end of death as we know it. 13. Longevity science, gene editing, anti-aging, and bio-upgrades. 14. Designer babies, engineered perfection before birth. 15. Artificial wombs, birth decoupled from the female body. 16. 3D printing, printing organs, limbs, and even humans. 17. The humanoid era, the rise of synthetic beings among us. 18. Legacy humans, the slow phase-out of unmodified analog people. 19. Smart cities, algorithmic environments that watch and decide. 20. Cloud-based societies, citizenship without borders or bodies. 21. Hackable humans, emotion, memory, and behavior under code. 22. Biometric scanning, your body is your password and your prison. 23. Sex tech, intimacy reprogrammed by machines. 24. Extinction of gender, fluidity, deletion, and design of identity. Every topic is fully explored with real-world technologies, patents, case studies, ethical analysis, and future forecasts. These aren't someday discussions. This is already happening. Join the SOS School of Soul Vault to overstand the future before it's implemented on you.